So, hello there, welcome to Guild Wars 2. We are playing Sylvari, Grevra of the Fall. She's a ranger, but she hopes to one day become a powerful druid. Don't mind me taking a little bit time to set things up. So I would love to share this link with my friends, so I'll take just a little bit of time to do so. So I'll copy the link, put it on my Facebook and share it with my friends and family. Okay, so let us continue. As I said, we are playing as Grevra of the Fall, our Sylvari. She's just awakened, she's taking her first steps into the world. I'm planning on doing some relaxed playthrough mixed with a little bit of learning how to play. Let me see if the voice is okay. Okay. So as I said in my first playthrough, I'm not pro player by any means, but I have spent some time already in the game. I just have chosen to play with only some features, and I treat the game as more of the single player experience with added benefit of some people running around. So now we will try to help defend the Care Astoria from the Nightmare card. We will kill some spiders, kill some Nightmare Court people, and activate the mortar pods. So the pods seem to be active already. Some bad guys over here, so let's get rid of them. I think I'll try to focus on completing this part of the map before we'll go to the next part of the main story. The plan is to complete the whole world, but it will take tons and tons of time to achieve this. Let us jump, let us use our snaky attack. Maybe use the falcon. So as some of you can see, using different set of weapons makes us quite a different fighter. So even if we are playing as a hunter right now, this character is more melee focus, quick movement, dodging, etc. And if we will be using other set of weapons, let's say it would be bow and arrows, we will try to stay away from the enemies, dodge away, etc. And we almost cleared the current quest, so we are good here. So for people joining right now, what am I doing here is completing those world quests, hearts. Those are named renown hearts. This is basically helping people around. So we have an option to buy an axe over here, and I will do so because I want to see if I would prefer axe over the sword. So the axe this is a mid-range weapon, so no, I don't want to be the mid-range character, I want to be a melee character, so I'll stick with the sword. Also we've got level up, and this unlocks underwater combat, so we can equip our mask, which is basically armor, and spear gun, which is our weapon for underwater combat. Once we get to the water, I'll explain a little bit more what is happening here. I just noticed I skipped the scout, so we'll get there in a minute. I just sell some junk. So let's go to the scout.
During your travels, you will find adventure at every turn. Do not forget where you come from. The heart of all cultures is farming and commerce. To this end, the Sylvari of Argham Wilds serve as providers to all of the grove, be it gathering from the water's edge or farming from within the heart of the jungle.
Okay, so as you have seen, the scout reveals a little bit of arena around. We can see there is a renowned heart over here, there is a vista, there is a hero point, and basically what we will do, we will try to complete those things. If I remember correctly, the quest over here is quite unusual, so you'll learn about them in a minute. But I think the first thing to do is to go for this vista and hero point nearby.
Not enough endurance.
So here is the vista. It wasn't so tricky to get here, so let's see this beautiful So I think for the game that came out in 2012 and it was supposed to be smooth experience because this is MMO game, and the graphics in some places is quite nice. So here is the hero point, and this kind of point requires us to commune, so basically spend some time doing nothing. Often there is a case of enemies around, so you got to clear the place before getting this hero point. Here we've got some laser squid medusa, so standard forest stuff, I will guess. Oh, and also we've unlocked our final weapon skill. So we've got Wolfie buff. So let's do this renown heart over here. It will require some gardening. So we've got to speak with this fella over here, and I will turn into this tree boy. We could punch some foes, we could thump, we could use our vine to pull the enemy, we could spread the pollen, and I believe this is the idea, and we could return to our previous form. So by the power of love, magic and nature, we are making trees happy. We need to get rid of the grubs. Bit of mommy daddy time with the plants. As we are tree, we cannot jump because trees are not jumping. I'm not sure. Yeah, we can have mommy daddy time with the flower as well. So as you can see, a lot of action going on here. And obviously, after having some fun, we need some time to recharge our 3 juice. We'll hit the evil thorny cousins, because we don't want any thorny guys up in our garden. And here is a little flower to shake our branches over her. Let's get a briefer, and we are almost done. It's swarmy stuff. And we are good. So let's return to our other form. We are well known in the world as being very fertile tree. Let's see what have we got here. So some fancy shoes. I'll equip them and let me see if the dice are right. They are not. So maybe we'll get some brownie peanut butter shoes. Sell some junk. Also we've got some new equipment, but this sword is worse than ours. Sell some junk. Oh, this is not a junk. And let's continue. So now we've got 31% of this sector completed. If you've got any suggestions, what should I do or should not do? I can see I've somehow missed this waypoint. I'm not sure how I managed to do this, but now I will get back there and correct my mistake. Maybe we will take other way just to show you the neighborhood. So here we've got a big evil worm. And another one. And another one. So over here, I didn't intend to go through the gate, but the world is divided into sectors, and each sector has its own waypoints, points of interest, suggested levels, etc. The grove is the city of there is a lot of happening, so a little bit of hiccup or low FPS, but we will get back over here in a minute. We will try to explore the forest first. So we are getting close to the waypoint, and it's unlocked, so we are good to go. Let's head back to the undiscovered part of Khalidian forest, I believe. I'm not sure if it's some kind of jumping puzzle over here or it's just... I think it's just a nice place to hop on the shrooms. So we found another waypoint, and as you can see the map is blurry around here, but after taking a few steps it should be uncovered. Yeah. So now we've got to help to gather some lavender, search sand piles, build scarecrows, return escaped Slamovs, and protect the harvester from nearby threats. So through the whole game we are good guys, doing good stuff for the folks. We are without any I forgot the word. Not a single drop of evil in our hearts. So this is this kind of epic, good story. So as a good people we are disseminating some species of crabs and other animals who don't know any better. I've seen many pro players playing like this to get a better field of view, but I just want to enjoy the graphics, and I've spent some time to pick a look for my character, so I'd like to look at her. I believe that should be enough for us to complete the task. I'll get rid of this lavender we've got, because this is a trophy, this is for this quest only, and there is no other use for this item whatsoever. So the options are either to give it to this vendor or destroy it. We've got new jacket, which I have to color if the in the colors of the fall. Where is that? Once again, we'll take this. Maybe like that. Maybe some yellowish, brownish. So we've got nice and warm coat over here. And let's sell some junk. Let's deposit all materials and sell those stuff. We've got black lion chests, so those are some things we can find and open later, but we need some keys to do so. We can find some keys in the game or get for some achievements, etc., but basically this is the paid content. I will exchange my stuff for some things a little better, and since all of this stuff is account bound or soul bound, I'll just destroy them later in the game. Some of the stuff you could salvage with the tools and get some materials back, but for now on I just want to have some space in my inventory. I'll keep the sword because in one level will unlock the second weapon slot, and I want to use the sword. So yeah, we just unlocked gathering, so we have the set of gathering tools, and we could equip them. And over the world map you can see some, not on the world map but on the mini-map, copper ore, saplings, and sometimes some plants you could gather and get some crafting materials. Let's go to the nearest scout. some cat fights. I believe the scout is up here, yeah.
On the Weeping Isle in Bentry Bay, the Sauners seek to isolate themselves, to be alone with their thoughts. However, outside the protection of the grove, they're endlessly harassed by the nightmare court of Hemlock Coil. They could use some help.
So here is a little point of interest I want to visit before we'll advance. And those are the bad guys. The reason why they are bad, and this is a little story spoiler, is because they've chosen to have free will instead of being communists. So remember, kids, free will is bad, sharing is caring. I believe there's nothing here to discover. Yeah, I thought there might be some jumping stuff over here, and there might be, it looks like it, but I don't want to waste your time on me trying to jump on every single wall around. I can see there are two viewers for quite some time. I'm not sure if it's just me on the two devices or if there is anybody else watching, but if so, welcome and thank you for your time. I hope you are having time, good time. I hope you are having time too. Having time is good. So here is, for example, copper ore. It's quite useful material, even late in the game. So it's also always good idea to gather it if you can. And this is one of the basic crafting materials. As you can see, we've got copper harvesting tools. And what does mean they are the lowest possible quality, and you could harvest only very basic items with them. And later in the game you'll find some stuff you cannot harvest with basic tool. You could try, but you'll waste the resource on it. So let's visit this little castle over here. There should be vista around the corner. So slowly but surely we are getting to the more tricky vistas. This is very easy place to get, but later on they will require some skill, and I find it one of the most fun aspects of the game. So let us look around. There is a little heart over there, so I believe we will have a chance to see underwater action. So in Guild Wars you could basically spend any time in the water, and there is no oxygen limit, but when you get to the water you get your skill based on your underwater weapons. So for example this spear gun, there are, I believe, 3 kind. There are harpoons, tridents, spear guns, and I believe that's it. And not all of them are usable by every class. So our spear gun has range on 1050, so this is the long range weapon. Splinter shot is our basic attack. It deals bleeding to the target and all adjacent enemies. Coral shot it cripples and causes bleeding, the farther the better. Feeding frenzy summons some piranhas which cause vulnerability, and my pet gets some fury. Mercy shot, it deals more damage the less health the enemy has. And in blast let us retreat. So here we've got some nice island, and now we need repair some fishing nets and traps, cool the wave rider population, help divers, and fend off Nightmare's Court raids. So let's dive over here. I really like the underwater surrounding. In some places there are really colorful things. Here it appears to be some colder water. I guess we've got some corals, but it's pretty dark and brownish, not so saturated, not so great coral reef stuff. So we've got some unfortunate divers. years we've dealt with the problem. Obviously this game is designed to have something to do all the time for all the people, so it's impossible to solve any of the problems. So it's like in the real life, whatever you will do, you will never be happy. Yeah. So let us get some reward. Oh, we've got some shell. Yeah, and this is the reason why I'm buying every crap the vendors has, because it's basically I want to complete multiple collections, and I exchange my thing because I think it's nicer to carry one shell and one sheriff star instead of 2 sheriff stars. Let's sell some junk, let's unpack this bag, deposit all the materials. This is worse, this is worse. I don't want to use any bow, so let's sell it. And let's see, where should we go now? So here's someone who needs our help, here's a point of interest for us. Should not ride a raptor inside of somebody's house. Let's see, what is this point of interest? It looks like someone's camp. So we've got a letter. This is because we get to the 10th level, so the main story is divided in parts, and every 10 level you could progress further in the main story. Also, the main story is very non-linear, so the first chapters are depending on your character, your race, your chosen things during the character creation. So for example, this white stag might have different impact than if we have chosen the green knight, etc. Later on you get to choose some sides and tactics. So I can't remember exact number, but let's say this would be a wild guess. It would take you 80 playthroughs to know all the stories of all the characters with all the choices possible. But as I said earlier, I think I'll complete this forest first and then I'll get to the story, unless you think it's a better idea to go to the story and rush through the game. So we've unlocked the personal story, we also unlocked swapping the weapons, and that means we could equip our longsword, and yeah, so we could swap the weapon, and our longsword has chain attacks, slash, etc. This is just increasing damage. Maul is cool, we are big bear, we cause vulnerability, and my pet gets opportunity attack. Swoop, we are train or something like this, so we charge towards our enemy. Now there is a counter attack, so it blocks incoming attack, and if we block something, actually we will attack the enemy. And the last is daze our opponents with hit bash. So real cool bear and the eagle or crane attack over here. Yeah, and we've got this letter over here. I'll read it real quick, but I'll just ignore it. It's from Cave. Sighting of a legend. Valiant. Wonder has been sighted in the Kowloon forest. Villagers say they have seen white stag roaming a forest. Legends tell of such things, and the Pale Tree herself has said that it is a spirit of protection and wisdom. I remember seeing the image of this creature in your dreams. Somehow you have a connection to the white stag. We must speak of your dreams to the leader of your cycle and see if we can interpret its meaning. Perhaps you may even be the one to capture the stag and bring it safely to the mother's care. Return to the grove and I will tell you more. Cave. So the mother is basically mother of all the Sylvari, or all the Sylvari we know of. She grew on some holy textbooks, and for some reason she thinks now that this book has all the wisdom in the world, and whenever a new Sylvari is born, she indoctrinates her or him with those words, and this is the only way of happiness. This is and the Nightmare Court are the people who decided to ignore those words of wisdom and experience the world by themselves. So the bad guys are independent ones, and good guys are obeying. So over here we've got some crafting stations, so I'm not sure if I can choose. No, crafting is still locked for me. Also, it's not a very exciting part of the game. It's something I might be doing off screen. It's a good way to get lots of experience in a short time.
The Saga Sword Quaggins and Huzzable Grounds Heilig are all that keep the Crate from complete dominance of Kessel Bay. Neither can truly stand against the Crate and Gloom. We don't interfere in the affairs of outsiders, but protecting the Bay benefits us as well. We'd be indebted to anyone who brings peace to these waters.
So this bird guy is a representative of some mysterious race we do not learn a lot about in Guild Wars 2. I don't know if there is more lore about them in Guild Wars 1, but I believe they live somewhere over here. And they've got some flying fortress, and they are happy about not interfering with the other races' problems. I believe this is the best place to go right now. So you could gather some herbs. Nice swamp. And now we've got to kill the courtiers and their pets, free prisoners, destroy turrets, and generally wreak havoc in Hemlock's Coil. So no freedom of thinking for you. So slowly but surely the enemies are a little bit more challenging. But there is a long way to the real challenging stuff. Let's see what's up there. Go to the next place. Okay, and let's see what we got here. Some key and a better sword, so this is cool. Oh, did we? So we can sell our old sword. This is +5 item, so why not? Let's wear a shell and the key. I wouldn't bother to upgrade every single time those trinkets, but why not? Some dark place. So there is a notification there for only few players, and do I want to visit other server, and by doing so I will get some reward, I believe extra karma and movement and XP from killings. And there is a vista over there on those ruins, and let us try to get there. I don't really remember this place. It looks like a way to go. Or not. Or yes. Maybe here. can see, it's a little bit more challenging, still not very hard, but oh, no cheating, a little bit of cheating. So I like this game because of the variety of places you could visit. Some of the places get samey over the time, but there is a lot to discover around the world. So here we are in some kind of tropical forest. There are some jungle deserts, if it makes any sense. This is temperate climate. Over here we've got high mountains and some icebergs. This is destroyed by magic word place with some undead, and I really like one of the final areas, the ruins of Ore. It has such extraordinary feelings to it. And also there is a desert, the mix of Persian, Egyptian culture, and made very beautifully. And the other expansion takes place in heart of Maguma. It's very tangled jungle. And there are also some places I haven't seen yet. So maybe there's even more to discover. So over here we've got some Azura laboratory. The Azura are small imps that have lived underground for centuries, but then they decided to move to the surface, and they are researchy guys. So what do we have to do here? Fight the Screed, knock over the shinies, and activate tracking devices. So the Screeds are the rat people. The cool things about them is they are stupid, but they've got some kind of hive mind. And the more the Screeds are in the same place, the more intelligent they get. They are also gatherers and thieves, so sometimes they are treated like pests or menace. Sometimes they are nice allies. And they also like shinies, they like nice things, and we are destroying them. Clear this place, do some good to the world. As you can see, I can chop the wood as well. Let's see what's over there. I believe nothing. I believe we're done here. Yeah. So I'll do one or two more things here, and I think that's enough streaming for me for today. So you can see I can get an iron pick, which is better. I could equip a harpoon instead of spear. There is shiny thing tracker. I want to buy it. And let's sell the other stuff. Let's see, where should we go next? I think I'll get to this place over here, maybe check this vista, and that will be it for today. They are screaming for help because the giant plant people are killing them for simply being. Let me pause the stream for a moment. Excuse me, someone were at the door, but I've dealt with them. So we are heading towards the end of today's stream. I might be streaming later today, but I'm not sure about it. So one thing I really don't like about those kind of games, there's a lot of enemies around, and with my poor vision I simply see them, their basic shape or kind, but I miss some details. Oh, we've unlocked hero points, so I'll get to it in a minute. But basically I tend to miss some details about how the enemies look, and it's really shame. I wish I could focus more on them. So we've got unlocked training, and those we've got some hero points, some from the leveling up and some from those places like this we've visited earlier. So this is the reason why you should visit them, because by spending the hero points we could unlock some skills. Later on also specializations and elite specializations, which are more passive abilities, but now we can focus on signets, and signets are passive abilities which you could activate for a little bit of boost, but once you do so you have to wait until they recharge for their passive bonus to go back here. There are traps, so traps are things you leave on the ground, and if the enemy gets there, they've got some kind of debuff. There is survival. I believe this is the mixed bag of different kind of abilities, some healing, some utility skills. Spirit training is you summon some spirits. I believe you can have only one spirit at a time, and there is also command training. So you could approach it more strategically by choosing something that will synergize well with your play style, but I think I will pick spirits basically because I think being druid is to get some synergy with spirits. So we've got water spirit, which causes nearby allies to heal. There is sun spirit, which causes burn to the foes. There is stone spirit, which will get some protection, frost spirit and storm spirit, and then there is a spirit of nature. I believe this is locked because it's a druid or soul beast ability. I think I will go with the sun spirit, and I will get it over here. Let me see if I can have two spirits at once. So here is the water spirit, here is the sun spirit. Yeah, I can keep them both, but if I move away from them, they will die, I believe. Yeah, they are losing life, so if I go back, they should be okay. Or not. Yeah, they are losing life over time, but basically... oh, I can teleport the spirit to me. So I'll just spend some points on basic level of skills. Later on I will unlock another slots. I believe the slot number 4 is for elite skills, so the more powerful. This is always for the healing stuff, so I can summon the water spirit, which will heal us over time. I can use We Heal as one, which will buff my pet, or Healing Seed, which is based on the fact I am a Sylvari. I can summon it somewhere,
That's refreshing.
and it will give regeneration to all allies around. So maybe off screen I'll try to think of what kind of abilities I really want, but for now let's go to this waypoint, to this vista, and end this series. Here's our waypoint, and I guess the vista would be somewhere higher.
Have you been to the Tango trading post?
I went by the other day.
So let's take a look around.
Outside the wall.
So I believe this is the Vanguard post. The Vanguards are one of the, let's say, guilds or houses in the world. They are basically warriors, protectors, etc. And you could side with them later on, and what is cool, you are not bound by your character. So for example, if you are a warrior, you don't have to go to the vanguards. You could side with, I don't remember the names, but researchers, or with rogues, and be the barbarian who will perform some sneaking actions, etc.
There are a lot of travelers lately.
So let's sell junk. They've got iron tools, so let's buy iron axe and sickle. And here we've got salvage kit and also leather bags. So let me just so I need 2 more, so I've got a little bit more space in my inventory. Also I will equip this better axe and better sickle, and what is the salvage kit? It lets me salvage some items, so I was keeping them in hope that I will be able to salvage them, but it's not possible. There are some items, for example, sword. I believe that the soulbound things cannot be salvaged. So if you have some weapon or item you don't want to use, and you could obviously sell it, but also you could salvage to create some crafting materials. But it appears those items will be useless. So the axes, etc. are useful, but I just prefer to always keep the best available. So I will destroy all those items I cannot use anyway.
It is not my habit to turn anyone away from the haven without good cause.
Okay, so I think we are done for today. There is a little bit of Caldon forest to explore, All the regions are square or rectangular shapes, so for example the forest borders are over here, there, and we'll move over there. I believe this will end like here, I guess. So we've got this part over there to explore, and then we'll move to our main quest and to the grove. So thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed it, and leave comments, like, subscribe, etc. if you did. Let me know if you prefer the live stream format or me pre-recording, but since I'm not editing my videos anyway, I think there is no difference, and during the live stream there is a possibility for you to interact with me. Let me know if you want to see more Guild Wars, or are you still interested in the Gloomhaven playthrough. I have some other games I would like to play in some time in the future, but for now on I'm having fun with the Guild Wars and the Gloomhaven. I believe there is not much it can offer at the current stage. There would be more of the same. I could replay with the different classes, see some more powerful enemies, but I believe that's it. So once again, thanks for watching and see you next time. Cheers.